Sir, complaint has been defined under Section 2, subsection D of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So it is any allegation that has been made to a magistrate with a view to him taking an action against such person, and it may be orally or written. Sir, it is made by a person who wants to file a case against another person. It may be cognizable case or a non-cognizable case, but if it is a cognizable case, then only he can file an FIR before the police officer under section 154 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. Sir, the FIR then leads after the culmination of the investigation, leads to the filing of the police report by the investigating officer, but a complaint is filed by any private person against the other person. May I come in, ma'am? Sir?
Yes, please.
Good day, sir. Good day, ma'am.
Please sit. So, Devansh, you have written following scientific discoveries as your hobby.
Yes, sir.
So, which scientific discovery have you till now you have followed?
Sir, I generally like to follow, and the recent one I remember was the Chandrayaan 3 mission that was launched by India. And sir, the major discovery that we made by the use of that mission was the discovery of sulfur on the surface of the moon, which was not discovered earlier by any other mission before. And also, sir, recently I read today only that the health ministry has also approved a new drug that has been found by scientists, which helps cure tuberculosis and is much safer than previous medicines.
So, what is the significance of sulfur on moon's surface? How does it help?
Sir, the major significance is that it will help future missions to store the cold, dry ice that is available on Mars for human consumption. And we will not have to carry this material with us in order to build such containers to store such volumes of water.
But how will sulfur help?
Sir, I am not aware about the exact details how it will help. But sir, I read that it will help in such storage of water on moon.
So, sulfur will help storage of water on moon?
Yes, sir, for human consumption.
So, have you heard about Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Act 2020?
No, sir, I have not heard about this, sir.
So, do you know when do we celebrate Haryana Day?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is on the foundation of the state, that is the 1st of November.
1st of November.
Yes, sir.
So, how many total members of parliament are there from Haryana?
Sir, I am not able to recall the total number of members in the parliament right now.
What is the official language of Haryana?
Sir, it is Hindi as well as, sir, Haryanvi.
As well as Haryanvi?
Yes, sir, it is also one of the.
But Haryanvi is not even a language?
Sir, it is a dialect, a way of speaking.
But dialect can be official language?
No, sir. Sir, I am sorry about it.
Okay. Who is the Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court?
So currently, it is the Honorable Mr. Justice Sheila. Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall.
What do you mean by Jamabandi?
Sir, I am not aware about it.
How many revenue courts are there in Haryana? The types of revenue courts in Haryana?
Sir, I am not able to recall that right now.
So, do you know that there is an issue of stubble burning in Haryana?
Yes, sir.
What is that issue?
Sir, the issue mainly deals with the leftover after the farmers have harvested their crops, and sir, it leads to the problem of pollution in Haryana as well as the nearby states of Delhi. So, sir, this stubble burning is one of the major problem that leads to the every year pollution in Delhi and other neighboring states. So, it is there are many various committees that have been formed to find a way to stop it in order to control the pollution.
So, is there any scientific method to resolve this issue?
Sir, currently the governments have tried to resolve it by providing them a means, by providing the farmers with a means to use the leftover in other ways than having to burn it, like turning it into some other use, like for feeding their cattle, and also being able to use it to sell further instead of burning it. So that was I was aware of.
So, is there any scientific solution to the problem also?
Sir, I had read about it, but I am not currently able to recall the specifics, but it had something to do with a special type of machine that helps to cut the crop in such a way that it reduces the amount of waste that is produced by cutting the crops.
How do you reduce waste? I mean, if you remove the food grains, the rest is everything is waste. So if you use any machine, the waste will remain same. Is there any way to reduce waste? I mean, you remove the wheat grains. Those wheat grains only are edible for human, right? The entire leftover is a waste. How do you reduce it? Can you reduce it?
Sir, it was a machine that tried to minimize the waste potential of the crop. But sir, I was not aware about the specifics of how it was trying to do that.
What is a precept?
Sir, precept has been provided in the section 46 of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Sir, it is a notice to a court that the party has interest or is interested whenever any complaint or any other suit has been instituted against it, so that it can be informed and no adverse action is taken against it without prior information to that party.
What is a caveat?
Sir, a caveat is a notice that has been filed in the court, what I explained earlier, sir. Sorry, sir. Sir, can I explain precept?
So you have written badminton as your hobby.
Yes, sir.
So at what tension you use the strings in the badminton? What is your preferable tension in the badminton?
Sir, I don't have a preference. I only played casually, sir.
Okay, so casual hobby, this is your...
Yes, sir.
So that's it from my side.
Okay, Devansh, from where you complete your law from University of Lucknow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which kind of hardship you faced during your LL.B. course, law course?
Sir, initially I was adapting to the new city. I had not been out of my hometown for some time. Only I had gone to Agra in my childhood days.
Kannauj is very near to Lucknow. It's
Yes.
not so far away.
Yes, sir, but I had not been out of my hometown since 12th.
So it's a kind of homesickness.
Yes, sir, in the starting first semester, sir, there was.
Then after?
So then after, sir, I don't think there was many hardships. Sir, the faculty was very helpful and I also learned many things about the...
Then why you mention in your achievement column कि completing law is a kind of achievement for you?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, I believe it because when after 12th I had to choose my stream. So, sir, there were many confusions, engineering, biology or any other field. But, sir, I chose law. And when I completed law, I felt that it is one of the most apt professions to be in because it applies directly to our daily life. So, sir, I believe that it is one of the greatest achievements that I have made by completing law as a profession.
What's your favorite subject?
Sir, I like Indian Evidence Act a lot.
And?
Sir, there's also the criminal law, like Criminal Procedure Code.
So basically you are into the criminal laws.
Yes, sir.
Which part of Evidence Act is most fascinating for you?
Sir, it is the relevancy part from 5 to 55, section 5 to 55.
Section 5 to 55. So which kind of thing is considered to be relevant for evidence?
Provisions under section 5 to 55 of the Indian Evidence Act are exhaustive and they provide that when any fact can be considered as relevant. So, sir, there are various provisions providing it, such as the provision of res geste. Then the provisions are further divided into admissions, confessions, and also the evidence of third parties when relevant, when the character is relevant.
Whether customs are considered to be relevant for proving or disproving anything?
Yes, sir.
In which circumstances?
Sir, under section 48 of the Indian Evidence Act, it provides that custom can be relevant in order to prove the existence of any previous custom being followed in that village.
And what is the rule of estoppel?
Sir, rule of estoppel has been provided under section 115 to 117 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872. It states that when any statement has been made, then if the other party believing on such a statement moves to his detriment, then the party cannot go back on his own word and he is bound to perform as he has said.
Is there any difference between onus of proof and burden of proof?
Yes, sir.
Which kind of difference is this?
Sir, burden of proof is the legal burden that has to be discharged with regard to the whole case. That is generally in civil cases on the plaintiff and in criminal cases on the prosecution. And whereas onus of proof is with regard to a particular fact that must be proved by either party who alleges such fact to exist. The provision regarding burden of proof has been provided under section 101 and 102, and onus of proof is particularly provided under section 104.
Okay, very good.
So, Devansh, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me who's supposedly supposed to be the first women Chief Justice of India?
Ma'am, it is Honorable Mrs. Justice P.V. Nagaratna, ma'am.
She's Mrs. or Miss?
Ma'am, I am not
You
able
said
to recall.
Mrs. Are you sure she's Mrs.?
Ma'am, I believe I read it somewhere, ma'am. I am not able to recall it right now.
Can you tell any notable judgment of her? Any landmark judgment, recent judgment that Nagaratna, Justice P.V. Nagaratna was part of?
Ma'am, I am not able to recall it right now.
Okay. Who's the Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University currently?
Yes, ma'am. He's Miss Shri Alok Rai Sir.
And when was Lucknow University established?
Ma'am, 1921.
Okay. Sir was asking you questions about that you followed Chandrayaan 3.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the name of the lander and the rover?
Ma'am, the lander was named Pragyan rover. And the rover
And
was
lander?
Pragyan rover, and the lander was ma'am, I'm not able to recall, but I think it was Aditya.
And Aditya L1 is different. Anyway, you said you follow scientific studies. So recently a medicine has come which can remove your spectacles within 15 minutes of putting that medicine in your eye. So your eye power is completely going to improve. What is the name of the medicine?
Ma'am, I'm not aware about it.
There was another scientific study recently conducted that in the near future, only females are going to be born. Males nahi born honge. Why is that so?
Ma'am, the study recently found that the Y chromosome found in the males, that is X and Y, is reducing. And without the Y chromosome, only the X chromosomes remains, and which is found in females. So if this Y chromosome keeps on decreasing, then only females will be left.
So what are the two female chromosomes? If a female is going to be born, what is the combination of the chromosome?
Ma'am, it is X and X.
And for male?
Ma'am, X and Y.
Okay. एक situation है आपके लिए. Let's say I'm your mother, and you clear Haryana Judiciary examination and you become the judge, and you like a girl, you want to marry her, but I tell you that since I've brought you up, I've given you all the good upbringing, आपको judge बनाया, so the girl that you wish to marry, you won't marry her unless they pay you enough dowry. So, and I am dead end on that कि you will not marry the girl unless and until the dowry comes in the house, and you want to marry the girl also. How will you handle this situation?
Ma'am, I will not be in any way in support of taking any dowry, because ma'am,
I'm not allowing you to marry the girl.
Ma'am, I will try to convince my parents that it is not anymore the way that we should conduct ourselves, and that the society has changed. And ma'am, I believe that I will be able to convince them, and ma'am, then only will I marry, but I will not take dowry as a means to be able to complete that marriage, ma'am. No.
What if she brings it on her own? Will it still be considered dowry?
Ma'am, if she brings any property on her own for herself, then it is not, ma'am, dowry, ma'am. Dowry is when one party demands certain property from the other, or one party delivers.
Only demands, no gives.
Demands or delivers the certain property from one side to other side in consideration or in exchange for marriage. But ma'am, I believe that if they are bringing them on their own will, it is not dowry. Otherwise, they will not be able to take any of their own belongings in this way.
Okay. As a judge, a case comes in front of you where a woman posted a half-naked picture of herself on social media. Now, as per your personal belief, that is obscene. But do you otherwise think, as per Indian laws, it is obscene?
Ma'am, my personal belief will not matter in that situation. Only the community standard tests will have to be applied, whether the photos that have been uploaded are obscene or not.
And this community standard test came in which case?
Ma'am, I'm not able to recall the name of it, but ma'am, it was after the Hicklins case. It was in Ranjit Desai case, I believe, ma'am, versus State of Maharashtra.
Okay. Why is Arvind Kejriwal in jail currently?
Ma'am, currently he has been alleged to be involved in a corruption scandal regarding a Delhi liquor policy.
And under what laws the charges have been put up?
Ma'am, the charges have been put up under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
Last question. Is Muslim women allowed maintenance?
Yes, ma'am.
Under which law?
Ma'am, they can file for maintenance concurrently under the section 125 of the Code of Civil Criminal Procedure 1973.
Which case said that recently?
I'm not able to recall the name of the case, but it was recently, about 1 month ago. I'm not able to recall.
Is there any provision in CPC under which, as a Muslim woman, I can ask for interim maintenance? Because interim maintenance as a provision is not given Dissolution of Muslim Marriage Act. So, can I ask interim maintenance under CPC?
Ma'am, I'm not able to recall that right now.
Okay, that's it. Done.
Okay, Devansh. So your favorite subject is criminal law. What is complaint and how it is different from FIR?
Sir, complaint has been defined under section 2, subsection D of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So it is any allegation that has been made to a magistrate with a view to him taking an action against such person, and it may be orally or written. Sir, it is made by a person who wants to file a case against another person. It may be cognizable case or a non-cognizable case, but if it is a cognizable case, then only he can file an FIR before the police officer under section 154 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. Sir, the FIR then leads after the culmination of the investigation, leads to the filing of the police report by the investigating officer, but a complaint is filed by any private person against the other person.
Okay. So stages of criminal law or stages under CRPC is?
Sir, the stages of investigation. Sir, can you clarify the question further?
What are the stages in CRPC for conducting a criminal trial?
Sir, first of all, the accused will be served a warrant or a summon. Then after he will appear, the court will ask him whether he pleads guilty or not. Then if he does not plead guilty, the court will frame the charges if it is satisfied that there are sufficient material on record. After that, the trial will begin. Then the prosecution will bring its evidences before the court, and after that the defense will be allowed to after that the section 313 will be followed of the Code of Criminal Procedure, in which the accused will be personally examined by the court. Then the defense will be asked to present its case, and finally the conclusion of the trial will be with the order of the judgment.
On what moment the inquiry turns into a trial?
Sir, the inquiry ends and trial begins as soon as the charges are framed. So that is the dividing line between the two.
Perfectly fine. And valid essentials of nikah?
Sir, there must be offer that is when one party offers to marry the other, and there must be acceptance, and this must be in the presence of two witnesses if it is a Sunni marriage, or no witnesses if it is a Shia marriage, and it must be conducted in one single meeting. And sir, the parties must be competent to contract, that according to Muslim law, that is, they must be of the age of puberty, that is generally 15 years of age. So these are the essentials.
You said that the transaction must be completed in one go. So is it possible if both the parties are on different cities, then the transaction is possible in one go?
Yes, sir. Sir, they could be marrying via video call or any other electronic communications, but it must be in one meeting, that is, it must be one transaction. They may be on call from different cities also.
So what is pleading?
Sir, pleadings have been defined under Order 6, Rule 1, that is plaint or written statement. So pleadings are generally means that the case that has been made by a party before the court, it may be by the plaintiff, that is by via of plaint, or by the defendant by means of written statement.
What is Order 2, Rule 2?
So Order 2, Rule 2 provides for the bar that when one party is entitled to ask for relief and he refuses or he neglects to ask for the full relief, then he cannot ask for the rest of the other reliefs after it.
As a defendant, as a plaintiff, you claim in your plaint and 3 reliefs on a particular cause of action. If that cause of action is not granted by the court, and so what is the consequences on the 3 reliefs?
Sir, if the court refuses to grant any of the reliefs on that cause of action, and the judgment is silent regarding it, then it will be deemed that the court has not granted it.
So you have right to file a separate suit on a same cause of action?
No, sir. sir, my right will be defeated.
Suppose you are a judicial magistrate. In your court, any of your relative is coming as a witness and they give a false statement or a wrong evidence. Then what you will do?
Sir, if a relative is coming before me in a case, sir, then I must recuse myself from the suit. If I proceed, then it will be against the rule against bias of natural justice.
Okay, so there is any provision in CRPC?
It's under section 479 of the Code of Criminal Procedure that the judge must recuse himself if he has any interest in the suit before him or case before him.
Hello Devansh, how are you?
I'm fine.
Have you done any internships during your law school journey?
Yes, ma'am.
You could have mentioned that in your work experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no issues. Can you please tell me evidentiary value of any evidence that is obtained by unlawful means or wrongful means?
Ma'am, in India, evidentiary value of such evidence which has been obtained by illegal or improper means is still admissible in evidence. It is not rejected only on the means by which it has been obtained. It is based on the principle that has been put forward in the case of Puran Mal versus the Director of Inspection that said that such evidences are admissible in evidence.
Okay. What is the current status of right to die in India?
Ma'am, currently, the last judgment that I remember is Common Cause versus Union of India 2023, which was following the Common Cause of India versus Union of India 2018, which said that any person has a right to make a forward will, that is a living will, that they can, in situation that they are not able to make any decisions in future, they can give forward instructions to their doctors that their life support must be taken so that they can die. But there is no active euthanasia that is allowed in India currently, ma'am.
And passive euthanasia was legalized by which judgment?
Ma'am, it was allowed by the Supreme Court in Aruna Shamwa versus Union of India.
How do you prioritize your own emotional well-being in managing stress and pressure in your day-to-day life?
Ma'am, I believe that emotional well-being is very important because it directly relates to our mental capacity to work. So, ma'am, there must be some time taken every day that you are relaxing, that you may be talking to your friends or taking a walk. It is essential in order to be able to perform at your fullest potential.
Okay, what motivated you to become a judge and what qualities do you believe are important to become a good judge?
Ma'am, when I was doing internships, I had observed a courtroom and I saw that the judge has a very difficult task, that he must be a presiding officer of the court and he must maintain the decorum of the court. At the same time, he must be able to calmly apply his mind in all the pressure that is coming from both the sides and the working environments. Ma'am, I felt that I also possess that quality that I can patiently decide a matter in such situations. And I also, ma'am, believe that I am a good listener, which is one of the most essential qualities that a judge must have.
What do you do to actively listen to another person? Since you said that you're a good listener, what do you think that you do in order to be an active listener?
Ma'am, I only focus on that one person who is speaking and I do not think of anything else or any other function that I might have in the back of mind.
What if this panel decides to not choose you? Does that affect your life in any way?
Ma'am, I have a dream of becoming a judge. It will of course affect me. But ma'am, if I am not chosen as a judge, then I must be lacking something and I will better myself for the next interview that I will be facing.
Okay.
Devansh, I have a last question. It's a situation-based question. Let's say you get married and after 6-8 months of your marriage, you get to know that your wife is attracted towards same sex. She's a lesbian. What will you do?
Then in such a situation, we will have to sit down and talk whether we want to continue the marriage or not. If she believes that she cannot live with me anymore, then we will file a case before the court for the divorce by mutual consent.
Let's say she does not agree for divorce. Can you still file a case for divorce?
Ma'am, in such a situation, I will file a case of divorce on irretrievable breakdown of marriage.
But she's still living with you.
Ma'am, if she does not if she is attracted to the other partner, then ma'am, it will also affect my feelings as another partner, and she will not be fulfilling those feelings. So
that is cruelty or that is irretrievable breakdown of marriage?
Ma'am,
what are the factors of irretrievable breakdown of marriage that the Supreme Court gave it, right? In which case?
Ma'am, recently it was the case of Varun Srinivasan case, but ma'am, I'm not able to recall the factors that
So
have
this
been given.
situation will be cruelty or irretrievable breakdown of marriage.
Ma'am, it will fall under cruelty, ma'am.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Devansh, in the same line, can you tell me a recent development by the government for the rights of LGBTQ?
Ma'am, it was the recent judgment of Supriyo Chakra
Not by the Supreme Court, by the government.
by the government. Yes, ma'am. Recently, the ministry has announced that the homosexuals can open a joint account and they can nominate the other partner as their nominee.
कन्नौज का यार सबसे फेमस क्या है? आप कन्नौज से ही ना?
Yes, sir. Sir, the Kannauj is famous as a perfume capital of India because of its famous itr that is made from the rose petals.
Okay, so now it's over.
So that's it, Devansh, right?